There are moments in life when everything falls apart. The plan fails. The door closes. The people you trusted walk away. And in that silence, you ask yourself, why me? But what if that failure wasn't a punishment? What if it was a gift, a blessing in disguise? Napoleon Hill believed exactly that. He said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. He wasn't talking theory. He had lived it. He had seen people rise from ashes simply because they refused to see failure as final. Hill's life itself was a long conversation with failure. He started as a poor boy in the mountains of Virginia. No money, no connections, no opportunity. But he had one thing, a hunger to learn. When Andrew Carnegie gave him the challenge to study the world's most successful people, Hill thought he'd found his destiny. But destiny doesn't come easy. He spent 20 years chasing interviews, writing late at night, surviving on faith and borrowed hope. And when he finally finished his masterpiece, no one wanted to publish it. He faced rejection, humiliation, and poverty. He lost almost everything, except his belief. He later said, every defeat, every disappointment brings with it the opportunity to begin again. This time more intelligently. Failure is life's greatest teacher, but only if you're willing to learn. When you fail, you meet your true self. You discover your weaknesses, your fears, and your limits. But that's also where you discover your strength, because every fall is followed by a choice to stay down or to rise again with wisdom. Hill told a story about a man named Henry Ford. Before Ford built the automobile empire, he faced countless failures. His early businesses went bankrupt. He was called a fool for dreaming of cars when people still rode horses. But each failure taught him something: how to build better engines, how to find the right people, how to believe in his vision when no one else did. And one day, those failures became the foundation of his success. Ford once said, failure is only the opportunity to begin again. More intelligently, Hill loved that quote because it captured the essence of success itself. The truth is, failure is not your enemy. It's your compass. It points you toward what doesn't work so you can find what does. When you fail, life is not saying no. It's saying, not this way. Try another. But most people never get the message because they give up too soon. Napoleon Hill taught that failure is never real until you accept it as final. He said, there is no such thing as failure. There are only results. That's the mindset that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Because successful people don't avoid failure. They use it. They look at defeat and ask, what is this trying to teach me? They turn pain into purpose and loss into wisdom. Hill saw this truth again and again in the lives of great men. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before creating the light. Bulb. 10,000 times. Imagine being told you're wrong 10,000 times in a row. But Edison smiled and said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. That's not denial. That's mastery. He didn't just learn from failure. He transformed it into the path toward greatness. Every failure you face is preparing you for something bigger. When you lose something you thought you couldn't live without, life is teaching you independence. When you fall after giving your all, life is teaching you resilience. When people betray you, life is teaching you discernment. Nothing is wasted. Every experience carries a lesson wrapped in pain. And when you open it, you find strength inside. Napoleon Hill once said, your greatest opportunity often comes disguised as misfortune. He told the story of a man who lost his job and thought his life was over. But that loss pushed him to start a small business. That business grew, and years later, he became wealthy, not in spite of losing his job, but because of it. That's how life works. It breaks you open so something greater can grow inside. Failure also builds faith. Because when everything is going right, you don't need to believe. You just live. But when everything goes wrong, and you still keep moving, that's when your belief becomes real. Hill said, "Faith is born in the heart of defeat. And that faith, a kind that survives darkness, becomes unshakable. But to turn failure into blessing, you must change the way you see it. Don't say, 'I failed.' Say, 'I learned.' Don't say, 'It's over.' Say, 'I'm not done yet.' Because the moment you stop calling it failure, it stops being one. Your words shape your reality. Your thoughts decide whether pain becomes a wall or a bridge." Hill also believed in the law of compensation, that life always gives you back what you put in. But in a different form. You might lose money, but gain wisdom. You might lose people, but gain clarity. You might lose comfort, but gain courage. And later, when you're ready, those lessons turn into blessings bigger than what you lost. The truth is, failure is not something to fear. It's something to thank. Because without it, you would never grow, never stretch, never discover your true capacity. Hill said, "Most people's greatest success comes just one step beyond their greatest failure. So when things fall apart, don't curse the chaos. Thank it, because something greater is being built inside you." There's a story of Napoleon Hill visiting a man who had just lost everything in a business crash. The man said, "I've failed." Hill smiled gently and replied, "No, you've only cleared the ground for something better to grow." Months later, that same man started again, this time smarter, calmer, and with a new sense of purpose. He went on to become one of Hill's greatest success stories, all because he refused to see failure as the end. So if you're struggling right now, if the road feels endless and the dream feels impossible, remember this. The pain you feel today is the strength you'll use tomorrow. The door that closed is redirecting you to something far greater. The loss you're crying over is shaping the version of you that success is waiting to meet. You're not failing. You're evolving. Every scar is proof that you tried. Every setback is proof that you're still in the game. Hill said, "When your desire is strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve it." That desire, that persistence, that faith, they're all born in the fire of failure. So next time you fall, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Because failure isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of your rise. One day, you'll look back and realize every loss, every rejection, every heartbreak was guiding you home, toward the person you were meant to become. And that's when you'll finally understand that failure was never failure at all. It was life's greatest blessing.